Namaste and hello, this is your Sanskrit instructor welcoming you back into video number 245, assignment number 72. Please send this assignment to mdg.sanskrit@gmail.com for credit towards an online course and for feedback. All submissions must be legibly handwritten and scanned as a PDF or sent as a picture. Your task is to translate the following Sanskrit sentences into the following English sentences into Sanskrit using the table format. As usual, we will go over what sentences we need to translate, and then we will do number 2 this time as an example sentence so that you may know the expectations for this assignment. So let us get started. Number 1 is on hearing that her husband had arrived, the young wife ran to the door. Number 2, we should protect those for whom we feel affection. And the answer is already here for you. Due to the fact that there's a lot of explanation as to why that is the answer. Number 3, it is proper to salute the master entering the house. Number 4, her sweet song could not be heard. Number 5, those who are able to check their senses are like a competent charioteer. Number 6, those who begin to dig a well when their house is burning are like men who take a medicine when sickness has led them to death's door. And number 7, O king, you should forgive my offenses. They are focusing on the fact that you should not use the potential mood here for you should forgive, but you should use ar and the infinitive for my offenses, which is exactly leading us back into the second question is what we're going to do. So it says we should protect those for whom we feel affection for. So we should protect those for whom we feel affection. We should protect. I want to use the skills that we learned about in the earliest lessons that focus on using arha and the infinitive. So I know that I'm going to use that. The word we should or we deserve to protect. Basically, that's what it means. We deserve to protect those for whom we feel affection for. I'm going to conjugate the word arha. I do not want to conjugate another verb in the sentence just because I don't feel like it. But again, this is your preference. To feel affection is actually a verb that is used in the fourth conjugation. By all means, if you want to use the fourth conjugation to use we feel affection, you could go right ahead. But because I only want to conjugate one verb, that is why I'm just going to conjugate arha, and then I'm going to use something like a participle for the we feel affection part. So first you want to analyze your sentence and see what you're looking at here, what you are dealing with, what type of skill sets I'm going to need to apply for this sentence. We should protect those for whom we feel affection for. So for whom, I already know that I'm going to need to use an adjective clause because whom is a relative pronoun, and the case of a relative pronoun depends on its own grammatical function in the adjective clause, and the number and gender of the relative pronoun depend on the number and gender of its antecedent. So whom depends on the number and gender of those. And you could simplify this entire sentence by just saying we should protect those. Those what? Those people. Those people who we feel affection for. I am looking at that last part of the sentence for whom we feel affection for as something that is describing the word those. So that is why I'm not going to conjugate the verb for we feel affection. Instead, I'll use a present passive participle, reinvent the sentence so it could portray the same meaning, and then go from there. So we should protect those for whom we feel affection. In the table, I reworded it as we should protect those who are loved. Those who are loved by who? By us. And that should already be assumed because we should protect those. So I'm not using we feel affection. So we should protect those who are loved. We should protect. Arha is to deserve. First conjugation, parasmaipadi, active voice. This should be first person plural because it's we should protect. So we should would be arha maha. To protect. Now remember, you can use we should protect in the potential mood, but again, we want to use arha plus the infinitive. So should protect would be portrayed by putting the word raksh, first conjugation, parasmaipadi, active voice, in the infinitive. Raksh is one of those verbs where you add an e before adding the tum to indicate that you want to use the infinitive. So you end up with rakshitum. Then, now let us get to the second part of the sentence. So we already tackled we should protect. Arha maha rakshitum. Now let's take care of the second part of the sentence. Those for whom we feel affection. So those seems to be the object of the sentence. But since we're using the word whom as an adjective clause, those is going to be in the same number and gender as whom. But before we even get to those two words, let us focus on our last set of words. We feel affection. To feel affection is usually in the fourth conjugation. To feel affection, snih. But this type of verb actually governs the locative case. So since this verb governs the locative case, we are going to put the word those and who in the locative case. So those is locative, so it should be masculine locative plural, since the word those is, to begin with, is plural. Then the word who is going to be locative plural. And are loved, by the time I am done converting snihi into the present passive participle, which is usually snihaman. Snihaman. By the time I decline that into the locative plural, it's going to become snihamane-shu, because eshu is the case ending for locative plural. The who is yad is whom, locative plural, that is yeshu. And then those, third person, the third person word for those, third person is stud. Those, masculine locative plural, is going to be teshu. So finally, and again, are loved, you could have used the passive tense. Again, it's your way of preference of how you want to portray the meaning of this sentence. But these are all the words that we have together. We have arha maha rakshitum teshu yeshu snihyamane shu, and then I have put them in the order that I desire. So I have rakshitum, arhamaha, teshu yeshu, snihyamane shu, coming from snihyaman, and then adding the case ending. Now the sandhi rules that I'm adding here, that should be put in consideration, is rakshitum arha maha. This final ma is going to turn into, it would have turned into an anuswar, but since that is here, that can remove that halant from the ma and then join those two words together, rakshitum and arha maha. And then the visarg in arha maha, because it is followed by a ta, it's going to turn, that visarg is going to turn into a sa, since it is preceded by an a. So then, after those sandhi rules are applied, you end up with rakshitum arha maste shu yeshu snihyamani shu as the final answer. Again, there are many ways to translate this sentence into Sanskrit, but I wanted to use the most recent lessons as a tool for application. And with that, this is your Sanskrit instructor signing off with a namaste.